which was a leaky-ass canoe. We were down on the river where my dad grew up, called the Looking Glass River in DeWitt, Michigan. And I was probably 4, maybe 5. And they had me bait a hook, which really creeped me out. I'm still not comfortable with that. It's a weird process. And you throw your line out, and we had like what cheap Kmart fishing poles and Zebco 303 reel, which is like the cheapest reel you could ever get. And when you get sand in those reels, the sand stays in there forever. My dad's Zebco probably still had sand in it 30 years after this story. But I got what I thought was a hit, fishing. I got one on the line, I got one on the line. As coherently as a 4-year-old's going to say that. My dad's eyes get all big, my grandpa's sitting back with his Marlboro cigarette, watching it all unfold. So I pull the line back, good tension on the line. It's a big one. My dad starts laughing. Before we can even pull the fish out, he's laughing. Because it wasn't a fish, it was an old pair of leaky green waders. I snagged myself a pair of waders, which is it's like wet pants, for when you go out into the swamp or whatever, so you don't get your regular pants wet. So when I said goodbye to my dad, one of the last things I said to him was, I caught myself a pair of waders down on the Looking Glass River. Caught me a big one. And he smiled, and that was one of the last things I said to him. So there's your story, Mr. Block.
Thank you. So anything coming up for y'all?
Not concrete, but we're working with a couple different ideas, and this really cool group of experimental DJs and beat makers called the Frequency Fence, and we just did our first kind of show with them a few weeks ago in St. Pete, and went really well. And I think there needs to be a home for what we're doing. And I think that what I really love, and I was talking to the band about this earlier, my 2 biggest influences are punk rock and hip hop. I was born in 1975, and those 2 things exploded at almost exactly the same time. And I think what I like about those 2 things, and that I see that are common elements of those 2 things, is that it's a sandbox. And by that I mean you can bring whatever toys you want into the sandbox, and you can play, you can dig a hole, or you can build a mountain, or you can, bury your truck or whatever. As long as you keep the sand in the sandbox, everybody's welcome. And as a Caucasian, doing a primarily African-American inspired art form, I have to constantly remind myself that, it's my privilege to play in that sandbox. And that is a sacred thing that I'm allowed to play in that sandbox. And that RZA from the Wu-Tang Clan said, hip-hop is about you and your experience with the world. So that if you're really doing hip-hop, you should be talking about your street, the people that you know, the struggles that you go through, the corner that you live on, the cops that fuck with you. And I'm able to do that in my work with Direwood, in that I'm talking about my trauma, my PTSD, the things I need to desperately go to counseling and therapy for, but colored with the goth aesthetic, which is my other kind of go-to thing. And so I think it's a big sandbox, and I'm welcome. I feel welcome that I'm allowed to play in that sandbox.
All right, do we have any questions from the audience?
It's okay. You don't need to be afraid.
Katie?
I just want to say that it was lovely to hear about your inspiration in the storytelling of your dad, someone who's lost a parent. It's very difficult. But from the first time I heard you perform, which was during his birthday, I was really taken by how much of a unique, original, and fabulous storyteller you were.
Thank you.
So it
That's
came
very
through
kind.
then, and it exists now too.
Yeah, what he did and what I do, they're not dissimilar at all. You know. There's as a closing note, my brothers and I are the world's biggest Star Wars fans. If you can't see what I'm showing you, it's a Rebel Alliance Starbird tattoo. My brother Orion works with developmentally disabled kids in the Chicago area. He also is based in New Orleans as a ghost storyteller, professional storyteller in New Orleans. So when my mom was getting rid of stuff, she had a bunch of Star Wars guys, the ones that we had when we were kids, and she said, what am I gonna do with these? She gave them to Orion, and Orion said, well, I don't really need them, but I have an idea. So there's a little park outside Lincoln Park in Chicago. There's just a little, it's a flower pot, a glorified flower pot on the corner. But he took his Star Wars toys, all of our Star Wars toys, and he put them in this little flower garden, and he anchored down like one of the big stormtrooper toys, like he anchored it so nobody can take that, but everything else is for the kids in the neighborhood. If you want to bring your action figure, put it in the garden with Luke Skywalker, cool. If you want to take Luke Skywalker home with you, that's cool too. So that park is dedicated to my dad. So the second biggest city in America has a little tiny corner that's dedicated to my dad, and it's full of Star Wars kids, Star Wars toys for kids, you know. I think that's better than like any kind of grave marker could ever be. Thanks for coming out, everyone. God bless you, Jeremy.
I have 3 announcements to make. The Disco Dolls anniversary party is coming up October 7th. So come out to celebrate the 13th anniversary of the Disco Dolls. My friends over here have a new music video out on YouTube that I just want to give a little promo to. Does anyone want to talk about it all, or you want me to?
No.
No? Okay. So, Purr is coming in December, but a video from the Purr world from Tommy Tough Boy is on YouTube as of today. So, Tommy Tough Boy is in the house.
Tabby.
Oh, Tabby Tough Boy. Sorry. And it's so good. I watched it 4 times today.
Last I heard, they have a pair of giant cat food cans to get rid of.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm repurposing them for a future video now.
So Tabby Tough Boy. I always fuck. My friend Stan came to my birthday party, and I called her boyfriend by the wrong name the whole night. I met him like 20 times. I can't get over it. And then the third thing I was gonna say is thank you to John for doing the sound tonight. It was awesome. All right, so I want to bring all the musicians on stage to do the group picture. And we'll be back in December. The artists in December are Jeff Brower, Purr. Steve Tedesco is doing piano. I remembered, it came back to me. And Mark and Nancy. So we'll see you all in December.
Yay! Hey, thank you, Jeremy Gloff. That dude he's a giant blessing for everybody who knows him. He's nothing but a font of positivity and love. So God bless you, Jeremy. God bless everybody who came out tonight. Please be safe on your way back home. We'll check you later. Yeah. Don't forget to stick around for the group photo. Yeah.
Sound Salon September, we did it.
It was awesome. And I put stories of everybody's performance in the interview section and tried to tag everyone, so. All right. So get on in there. Yeah, do it. All right.
My zipper up. was thinking of you the whole time. I always forget to say things on the microphone. I'm like, you always say, that's to be weird and we're fucking doing it.